Hey guys, hello Zeusers, our fellow immortals, gods and goddesses. Welcome to the Ecclesia number 4. Um, Thank you for dropping in to view the AMA last week. We couldn't get it done because of internet issues. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Looks like the chat is coming in, so that's good. I apologize for last week. Again, this was a little bit out of our control because our internet went down, but hopefully that's, gonna be once in a blue moon. It's not gonna happen on a regular basis. But we have a full plate today, so hopefully we can catch up on some of the things that we wanted to present last week. And so let's get going. So one of the things I want to kind of talk about is, the connection is a bit touchy. So there's not much I can do about that. It looks, everything is good on my end, so I don't know. I have to check the internet speed and see if the connection can be made better. So that's something we'll work out for the next AMA. But let's hopefully you guys can still hear me, so that's a good sign. The video may not be all that good, but I'll try to play the video slowly so that you can see it on the website as I go through the apps. So I'll present the Bolt app, and then I'll also talk about the Atlus. Okay, so looks like the sound is clear, but my picture is pixelated a little bit on some of your browser. So hopefully that will clear up. Okay, so just a brief monologue about our marketing efforts, our business development activity. We're focusing on hackathons, as I mentioned, but we're also talking to partners, blockchain consultants, event organizers, and accelerators that can use the Zeus platform to build websites, apps, and consumer apps, enterprise apps, what have you, and transform them. And the easiest way to transform is something simple like using Blimp for backing up your storage instead of using S3, or making your website unstoppable by using decentralized S3 as your place where you can pull the assets from, the media assets. And so those are the two things that we are focusing on, and we are talking to our partners to tell their customers, tell their clients about how they can easily transform their website, their apps, app backup storage into using decentralized storage. So it's sort of like, kind of baby steps to get people to transform from what they're used to, which is the AWS and the traditional storage, into something decentralized. But we want to take some baby steps so that it's easy for them to sell it to their customers. So that's something we're talking to these partners who are blockchain consultants, who are developers, agencies that work with enterprises, that work with governments, and hospitals and things like that. I mean, I think some of the industries are more ready for transformation, like governments and hospitals, where they already have a problem with ransomware and security is a big problem. So their decentralized storage can help. For startups, it's a way to avoid GDPR issues and data localization issues. So that's where our solution can certainly help. So we're focusing on those guys, and then we're also talking to managed service providers who are today, like for instance, some of them are like miners on Filecoin or SIA or Storj, and we're asking them if they want to participate on our network as a blobber, and that's good business to have. And each of these partners, by the way, we're asking them to be a provider, a storage provider as well, because we think that if you look at the industry as a whole, this is a $50 billion industry annual, which is being can be transformed with basically peer-to-peer storage as a small business economy. You can create a small business economy within the crypto sphere. So today, crypto market is NFT. It can add decentralized storage, which can be a much bigger market than NFT ever could be. So this is something that if we get everybody involved, starting with the blockchain developers, hackathons, partners, accelerators, all of them can be providers of their own, and they can build their own brand. It's sort of like a small business brand, but it can be, at the end of the day, it can be big business. It can be, if you look at today's cloud providers, there's about, the tier one, obviously there's only 4 or 5, right? But tier 2, there's lots, and then tier 3, there's abundant providers. So I think that's how things will unfold in the weeks or months or years to come. So that's the monologue about the marketing and how we're doing the business biz dev activity. Our marketing will be content based effort in terms once we have these hackathons, we'll build content based on what people are building on Zeus when we go to mainnet. All right, so let's talk about let's look at the Bolt app. Okay, let's see if you're visible. Okay, good. All right, so so let me do this. Okay, so let me play the video. So I'll try to stop it where as I go along. So this is the home page where I'm assuming that you guys can see this. Let me check. Okay, good. So basically the Bolt app, if you look from the beginning, so basically we talk about security, speed, DeFi as the key elements, and obviously the security aspect of a split key, right? And then you can earn ZCN with less risk because it's a storage-based income. So basically this is the security. We talk about it on the home page. And then this is the home page where we talk about the security aspects and then documentation and so forth. Then in terms of logging in, you click on log in. By the way, this will be available for you guys soon enough, probably today, tomorrow. We will tweet it out, and so that you can play with it.
Can't see your video.
Okay, so let's try this. Can you see the video now? Okay, so I think you can see the video now. Maybe it's okay. Okay, can you guys see the video? All right, okay. Okay, perfect. I think when I made it full screen, it doesn't work very well. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, so basically this is the, you log in through your phone, you enter your phone number so that you get an OTP. And then now here, you're choosing the wallet. So we allow multiple wallets for Bolt, so you can switch between wallets. And here you're picking, Gerta is picking her wallet. There is another wallet there. By the way, some of the UI will be changed. So it's some of them are last minute additions, so there will be some glitch in the UI. All right, so you recover from the cloud, you use your passphrase. So this passphrase, by the way, is basically encrypted with your passphrase. So what we do is we take your private key encrypted with your passphrase and then save it in our cloud, and then you can recover it, right? So you're recovering it from cloud, and it shows the balance. So this is a wallet that she has already made, and this was made before, and therefore it has a balance of 11 ZCN. As you can see, this is the balance. On the left side, you have the menu. You have wallet, stake, activity, buy, sell, ZCN, and then you have send, receive. So sending ZCN to somebody, receiving it from someone by showing your QR code. And then you have a staking rewards charts. Recent transactions would be displayed here. Recent activity would be displayed here. And all of this activity is basically also on this activity page. So, okay, so as you can see, activity, clicked on the activity. There are two activities, stake. So now I think she's gonna go through the settings. You can choose different network fees in terms of average. And then here, what she's doing is getting tokens from the faucet. Obviously, the faucet won't be there for the mainnet, but this is there for testing purposes so that you can get tokens from the testnet. Here you can recover wallet. So there are two ways you can recover the wallet. You can either recover the wallet from the from a mnemonic that you enter, or from the cloud that you have stored with your passphrase. So here's just showing the different ways you can change wallet and recover it. Here you can manage your profile. You can change your username, your image or avatar. As you can see, she's changing her image, her username, and it's updated. And you can also update the wallet name. So each wallet you can name it so that it's easy for you to recover. And yeah, so yeah, some of them are basic frequently asked questions. So now we're gonna start adding stake. So blobber stake, you choose the blobbers. So here you're selecting blobbers. There are different blobbers on the network. Obviously, some of them have different names. In this case, where these are our test blobbers, so that's why their names are like this. But in general, each blobber will have a brand name, and they will be publicized here. So next, so here it gives you the blobber details, how much you want to stake. So here you're, you want to stake 2 tokens. It tells you, okay, this is you want to stake. You can now confirm it on the Explorer. So this is something, our next demo, which is the Atlus Explorer. It shows the details of the transaction, of the stake transaction. And then we can repeat that for sharders. So we did that for blobbers. Now you can repeat that for sharders. Here again, here it says like sharder details, how much is already staked on the sharder. So there's about 8 ZCN staked on the sharder. So you say, okay, I'll stake. And then you basically stake like 1 ZCN, And so it says, okay, current total stake is 8. With your addition of 1 ZCN, there'll be a total of 9 ZCN staked. So confirm once you submit, and then you can view it on the Explorer if that transaction happened. As you can see, it executed that transaction. All right, so so these are basically active staking. They're pending rewards. You can see the balance. You have 6 ZCN available for transactions, and then 6 ZCN is basically staked. So total ZCN you have is 12, but only 6 are available for transactions. And this is the total balance based on the ZCN price. Okay, so yeah, you can see all the recent transactions which you have done. You have staked to a blobber, you have staked to a sharder, and then you have tokens from the faucet that you received. Okay, and then these are also the recent activities that you see. So there are recent transactions and the recent activities. They're kind of similar, but not quite, because these are more descriptive about what you have done, and these are basically transaction receipts. Okay, so the next is buy ZCN. By the way, I should mention that staking rewards chart is working. It's just we have to claim rewards. I don't know if in this video we claim rewards, so that's something we probably missed. Gertha probably missed it in her video. Here now, I'll mention here. Now here, what we're doing is buying ZCN. This is with your Ethereum wallet on MetaMask. So you need to use Chrome browser in order to use this feature. So that's something that you need to do. We cannot use it on Safari, for instance. So you have to use Chrome. So here I'm putting in 10 ZCN, saying, okay, I want to buy 10 ZCN, and this is the cost in ETH, and then it tells you how much the network fees are, transaction fees are, and so forth. You go, and now here you can enter your email to receive the receipt of your transaction via email. So we have that feature available for you to keep records of your transaction. And once you enter email, we won't ask you again, so it's just a one-time thing. In this case, I think she skips it, and then you basically see the transaction processing. So there are basically 4 stages. You do a swap, increase allowance, and then you burn, and then you mint. So burn on the Ethereum, and then mint on the native chain. So first you're swapping from ETH to ZCN ERC. You're increasing the allowance on Ethereum to allow you to do that, and then you burn it on Ethereum contract, and then you mint it on Zero Chain on Zeus network. Okay, so processing, this will, as you can see, so this, by the way, you should use Gurley test network. You don't want to use Ethereum. Where the contract that we have. Smart contract that we have on Ethereum is deployed on Gurley, but obviously this is for testing purpose. When we have mainnet, you'll be using Ethereum network. Okay, so yeah, but it should be exactly the same. So it tells you how much ETH you're sending and the transaction, and it's processing. Once it's done, I think it takes a few minutes because Ethereum, there's some time before the confirmation happens. Okay, so swap happened. Now we're increasing allowance. You will need to open MetaMask to approve again. So I'm gonna try to make this a little bit bigger so that it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, so it's still processing. So this process takes a little bit longer than on the Ethereum network, because it takes It takes a minute to approve. Okay, so now you're confirming. So now it's confirmed about the increased allowance. Now it's burning under the ZCN ERC contract. So this is our bridge contract on Goerli network, where you're burning the token. So just wait for it a little bit. I think it'll take a few seconds. Yeah, a few more seconds, and then it will mint. Yeah, okay, and then so in each process you have to confirm, because what we are doing here is we are doing a non-custodial solution, in the sense that you have total control over the entire process. We do not keep tokens on your behalf. It's not a custodial solution. So we use your MetaMask basically to do this. So now you have success, you have 10 ZCN. So now it has bridged over to the Zeus network, and you have received 10 ZCN by converting, by buying it on Ethereum and minting it on a Zeus network, which is pretty amazing. There we go. So now you can see your balance has increased from 6 ZCN to 16 ZCN. Just like magic, isn't it? Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, so you have now, you can see the buy ZCN, you can see the transaction on our Explorer. This will be the mint transaction. As you can, so this is exchange. We should say mint here. So that's something we need to change. And then you can, yeah, you can basically view the transaction on our chain. You can also view it on Ethereum. Probably that's something we will add as well, both Ethereum and transaction. So now you're doing the reverse process. So you bought the ZCN with your ETH. Now you want to sell ZCN to get the ETH back. So that's something, the reverse process, the reverse flow. You can enter your email for the receipt, and then you're selling the ZCN. You're first burning it on, actually it's burning it on our native network, the Zeus network, and then minting it on Ethereum. But I think that flow is still work in progress, so that's something we are not showing. So the other thing we're showing here is send, which is the basic send and receive. So send, as you know, you can basically write any, put any address within the Zeus network, and you'd be able to send tokens. So you should try it out with your friends, send tokens to each other and see how it works. And then you can receive it, so you can share this with your friends, and then you can get tokens from them. So that's pretty much the demo for Bolt. Again, this is something that will be we'll make it available today or tomorrow. I think there are a few things, tweaks that we want to do. We want to get the sell process working completely. But it looks really good, and the staking rewards charge is also working. We haven't showed it in the demo, but it's all functional. So you guys can play with it, and I'm sure you guys will have some feedback. So we look forward to your feedback. Now let's look at the other app, which I want to showcase, is the Atlus Explorer. By the way, there's a lot of work that went into building these apps. First, I want to thank Derek for going through the UI and making the design. This was done close to a year ago. It's been a long time since this was done. And then obviously our front-end team, back-end team, DevOps team, our core team, they have worked tirelessly to get all of this working perfectly, and there's still a few tweaks that we need to do, but it's pretty much done. I would say 99.9% done, but it's not ready for product release, but it's ready for release to the community so that you guys can test it out and take a look at it and see if the process is very simple to use. What we stressed on this design is simplicity, so that anybody can use it. And the workflow should be very simple, whether it's you're staking tokens, whether it's buying ZCN or selling ZCN. And then we haven't shown you the split key yet, because the split key is available on the iOS and Android app, which is something that we will showcase next week, because we want to showcase the Atlus Explorer this week, and we don't have time for both. So let's look at the Atlus now, because we're kind of running into time issues. All right, so let's go here. All right, is this visible? Oh, okay, good. All right, so let's play this Atlus Explorer. So the Atlus Explorer, as you can see, it's you know, you have it tells you how much ZCN, what the ZCN price is, and you know, we have the home page showing the cloud size, the average storage cost on the network, and this is in dollar per TB per year, because all the contracts that we're gonna do is yearly contracts. There are two reasons for that. One, it's to make sure the blobbers have guaranteed income, and also for clients to see that the blobbers are committed to at least a year. So that gives them confidence that, okay, I can put the data in. So it's kind of a mutual confidence that we did the yearly contract. This is the current ZCN price, and then you have the total value locked, right? So, and this total value locked is basically it's client locking tokens as well as blobber locking tokens. All right, so and then so we showcase where the servers are. So we have a server map, and we have the price of ZCN over like today's or over some time, over some period. So you have 24 hours, 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, 90 days, and 1 year. Okay. So yeah, we talked about storage cost, we talked about ZCN price, we talked about total value, and then we also show the blobbers that are on the network, right? So yeah, so you can change the you can select the timeline and the graphs will change. So now let's go to the service provider page. So here, for instance, you have sharders, you have blobbers, miners. Let's play that again, and then it gives you the host name. Again, these will be pretty much branded host name from our active set guys. Same for miners and blobbers. There will be a brand name on the host, and then we'll talk about and some of them will go away, like for instance node type short name, we'll probably remove this, and then we talk about uptime, health check, and health state. The data here is not incorrect, it's just something that we are working on right now. So you have the IDs, so as you can see, blobber IDs. So blobber, you see allocated storage right now, nobody has allocated anything on the client side. Then there's a capacity, how much terabytes you have. So this is in gigabytes now, it's like 1 gigabyte capacity. So that, again, some of the data is incorrect, and some of them needs to be populated, because this is I think this is a fresh network, so that's why you see a lot of zeros, because there is no activity yet. But once there are activity, you will see all of this populated, because if you don't have anything stored, you won't get any challenges. If you don't get any challenges, past challenges, you won't get a quality score. The quality score is based on how many challenges you pass with the total challenges that are open. So, you know, likely it'll be very in the high 90s or close to 100% on the quality if you have a server on the data center. And then you have delegated ZCN, how much you have delegated onto the network, how much you have staked. Okay. Then you have these charts. So it shows, the okay. So I'll just let it play. So ZCN price is one of the chart. You can click on it and go into details about that chart on a full screen, and then yeah. So and then you have other charts like value locked, circulating supply growth, market capitalization, total allocated storage value locked. So if you have a bunch of market charts, we have network charts, we have storage charts, and an explainer of how the different types of storage we have. Yeah, total value locked, and you can see we have information here where you can see what they stand for. Now, if you go to network charts, it talks about how many transactions we have per day, utilization of the network. This is how much storage has been used over the capacity. That's let's say you have terabyte capacity and you use 100 GB, then basically the utilization is 10%. So that's what it shows. Obviously, right now we are underutilized because we haven't put any data on the network. And then it talks about the quality score. As you can see now, the quality score is close to 100%, which it should be because all the challenges should be passing. There shouldn't be a reason. Yeah, so we talk about unique addresses, block count. The block count should be increasing. What is the average price, right price, which is the only price, unlike AWS where you have a bunch of hidden cost. The value of our proposition is that read price for the most part will be free. That's the assumption because we are incentivizing blobbers to have zero read price. And then on the write price, you just have one price for writes. So it's very clear, it's very transparent, and that's the beauty of our platform, that it's a very simple one price platform for storing data. There is no hidden API cost, there is no hidden there's no read cost, there's no hidden API cost or retrieval costs. So it's a one flat write price. Okay, so in the storage charts, we show total top blobbers by allocated storage. Allocated means clients have allocated storage. It's not about usage. It's also first is allocated storage, and we can also show something on the usage side, so that we can probably put a chart up later on for usage. And then we have these allocations. So how much people are purchasing allocations. So as clients have more and more allocations, this will continue to grow. Obviously, everything will continue to grow as more people put data in. They will need more allocations and so forth, right? All right, so we talk about the charts. Now we talk about the blockchain. So blockchain, composes of two things. There's transactions and there are blocks, right? So on the transaction, these are the most recent transactions. So this happened, let's say this video was taken 8:42, about an hour ago. And you can see the transactions, from and to and so forth, and the value of it. So some of them are transactions that are internal, like this one is challenge transaction. There's fees, which is actually should be named rewards. So challenge and rewards happen on every block, pretty much. And then you have other transactions like new allocation. You can see, half a ZCN was used to set up a new allocation. Okay, so you can go to the hash. So if I click on this hash, or if I copy this hash, I can find that transaction. So I can, I can click on it and I can see that transaction. I can look at the details of the transaction. And I can go to the JSON details as well, which is a lot more. It tells you what type of transaction it is, like generate challenge, and it has all the additional data on the transaction. So here he has copied the transaction hash and he's searching for it. And this is Sagar, by the way, who is the product manager for this platform. By the way, I should note that all the PMs have done a great job on all of these products. These products are not simple because there's front end, back end, DevOps, chain related problems. So there are multifaceted problems, and to make everything work is not simple. And I'm grateful to have very talented people, and at each level, whether it's a front end, back end, PM, DevOps, and they've done a wonderful job in putting this all together, including design, obviously, and marketing and and business development as well. So we have talent in every facet in our organization. I'm really proud of that and really grateful for their total effort. So the block transactions, you can see there are 11 transactions in this block, and those are the ones listed for this particular block, right? So, and you can then, go to a particular transaction hash. You can look at the details of the transaction, whether it's a JSON detail or a summarized highlighted detail. All right, so I think that's the hash of the transaction. Yeah, okay, so you can go through that. We already went through that. Okay, now we are gonna look at, I think, yeah, okay, blocks. We haven't looked at blocks. So you can see the blocks, how many transaction counts. So look, 3, 4, and I believe we can go to a block, and yeah, we can see the number of transactions. I think there are 3 transactions. You can see the 3 transactions within a block. So there's a faucet transaction, there's a fees and challenge. As you can see, there are fees and challenge are pretty much automatic on every block, and then there's additional transaction, whether you're sending, faucet, staking, and so forth. All right, so we have a server map which you can expand. You can see where your servers are. Probably will make this a little bit bigger so that you can see all the servers. Then you can go to the blobber details, so you can click on any of them and go to the details of the blobber. So you can also segment based on region. So I'm expecting this to be populated a lot. That's why we segmented this with regions, because we expect there's to be thousands of blobbers. All right, so that's the demo, and all right, so that's the demo. I think this, we've shown the Bolt app, we've shown the Atlas app. They kind of work together because the Bolt app, you can see the view on the Explorer, and the Explorer where you go is at the Atlas page. So that's why we wanted to showcase both apps, and both will be available again either today or tomorrow. We'll basically showcase it. Again, these are continually being improved upon, because we know there are some mistakes especially on some of the data side in representing the data. So that's something that we want to correct either today, tomorrow. So definitely by the weekend you will see, or past the weekend, and early next week you should see the apps to be stabilized. So with the correct data. So I think this kind of showcases what we have, and in terms of Okay, so the I was so today is the pre-mainnet release, right? So this is something a big event, a milestone. That's actually these are all milestones: making the Bolt app, making the Atlas app. Something that has a really good UI, something that has simplicity, something that anybody can understand and be able to use it for their purpose. So this was the objective, and we wanted all these apps to be functional and performant. It's not just having functional but high performance, and we have achieved that, and you guys can take a look and see, obviously can give us feedback on how we can make it even better. Now, in terms of pre-mainnet, it's expected to be done today. I encountered a glitch. This is on sharing the keys and getting the keys and generating the magic block, which is the block that basically starts the genesis of the chain. I believe we're still working on that, and that should be, whenever that is up and working, we will release the details on the pre-mainnet. But it's basically will show the URL of the page, and we will see the miners, the sharders. That's the first step, and then we will add the blobbers later on. And then what we will do is perform some load tests that we have performed on our internal network, and perform those light load tests, and then we will do some heavy load testing. We'll do some DDoS testing, and then we will have the apps on that network. So currently, the apps that we're gonna showcase to you early next week will be on our network, on our internal network, because we know that's how we tested everything. So we want to make sure that works, and it's good for you to get feedback and for you guys to test it out. But the pre-mainnet will be, we'll show the URL, we'll show the miner sharders, and we'll show how the blockchain is moving and so forth. And we'll go through the details probably next for the next AMA, but it will be tweeted out once we have it up and running today. All right, so that's all I have for today. So feel free to ask questions and on the chat. So I don't see any questions now, but feel free to ask any questions. I hope today's AMA was informative on the Bolt app and the Atlas app, and also about some of the things that we're doing on the marketing side and business development side. We want to obviously talk about the pre-mainnet, how and I think what I've asked Sculptex to do is write a Medium article on how we went about doing it. It would be something that's pretty incredible what we have done, what Sculptex has done. It's an incredible process on how we got about getting the chain, the pre-mainnet up and working. So that's something, it cannot be talked about in one AMA because there's a lot of details on how we brought the pre-mainnet up. So that's something that we can write an article, and then you can read about the article, and then I can try to explain it on an AMA in a short time. I see some questions coming in, so let's go to them. From Discord, there's some questions that Clark has presented. The first question is, what would SAS do differently if he was able to go back in 2017 with this current experience and start zero chain again? Well, there are a lot of things you could do differently, but you make decision with the data you have at that time. So, I would have probably started recruiting good developers on Upwork early on, and go global early on, as opposed to starting in Silicon Valley, because that's what where we're at now. We have developers globally, and we have a good team in place, and are moving very fast compared to the startups here. I mean, obviously, you would like everybody to be in one place, because when you have a global workforce, it's difficult. Communication is difficult sometimes. It's mostly done through Slack. It's not as fast as it would be if everybody was in one room. And in startups, having everybody in one room is the fastest way to build a platform or build an app. But we all are also very lean and cost conscious, and going through the process of using Upwork freelancers was better for us. We got really good talent, and they're able to do the job, better than what we had done before, and at a lower cost. So that's why we have survived, basically three downturns, right? You have a first downturn in 2018. Then we survived the COVID one, and now we're surviving another bear market in crypto. So it makes us very resilient, and as long as you get good developers, you can still keep on plugging along. Another question: what are some of the lessons that have been learned from working on this project? Obviously, I mean, some of the things is that simplicity wins. So we try to keep the protocol. We're trying to make sure the protocol is simple and scalable, and that way some of the rework that we're doing this year has been primarily because it wasn't as scalable as it is now, right? So, but architecturally, when you go through the thought process, sometimes you miss out on scalability. You think it is scalable, but once you do testing and all of that, you realize it's not scalable. So part of the refactoring has been to make it scalable, and also some of the things that the blockchain development also takes time. Going back, we didn't have a blockchain. We didn't have a fast blockchain at that time. Definitely wasn't around. So making a blockchain and making the storage protocol is a big task. It's like having two big projects, and then you're doing the apps on top of it. So it's like a bunch of projects we're executing on, and it's always hard. It's a challenge, but it's we need to build the ecosystem somehow, and we need to have high quality. If you look at Filecoin, if you look at Sia and Storj, they built essentially the storage part. Filecoin did the consensus layer as well, so they have both chain and storage protocol. But for the most part, all of the other guys, they're using something else that's been done before on the blockchain side. So they didn't have, they didn't have as much risk in their technology, in terms of development. But now that our blockchain is stable, and our storage protocol, we're focusing more on the storage protocol to make it scalable. So first it was more focused on the blockchain. Now it's more on the storage protocol to make sure it's scalable, and make sure the smart contracts are scalable. So that takes quite a bit of effort, takes time, and also decision making. I think we're pretty fast at decision making. We're very quick. We're a very flat organization, so decision making is very quick. But the work that we're doing is a lot of work, and everything takes time, and sometimes even if you have the best people on your team, communication is always not immediate because of time differences, and it's the complexity of the project that also takes time. As I said, even an app like Bolt, you're dealing with front end, back end, microservice, blockchain issues that is not there on a simple app. So even the app development takes time. Well, thank you, Kira Repesi, for your support, because we are doing a lot of hard work, and it's coming to fruition. I can see the light, the end of the tunnel, finally, and having these apps out would and have you guys play around with it would make it worth it, and worth all the effort that everybody has put in. It's a joy to put quality apps together, and we want to be perfectionists. So we want 100% perfection on UI, user experience. Those are the two main focus. The performance of the app. So if you can help us with that, that'll be great. We're trying. We have. I think all the apps are in a state where it's a seamless in terms of how people use it. I don't think there will be a big difference between using this app versus a traditional enterprise app. Question from Double Dutch. What are the major calamity procedures in case of unforeseen severe issues? So, we take all Byzantine cases very seriously. We have, obviously, all our code has a unit test, system test, and then we do a load test. Then we do a DDoS test. We also do a chaos test where basically servers are down. And we also do Byzantine tests where servers are malicious. So these are a battery of tests that we do before we release a product. So that's something we're doing. It's part of our DevOps, and we're making sure that there's more limit. We are making sure there are limits in some of the more critical areas, like for instance the bridge, the token bridge, where it could be hacked, and there could be places where hackers could mint money, right? Mint coins. So that's something we're careful about. And even if the hack, so we basically assume that will be a hack. If there's a hack, what should we do? So we basically put a limit so that the extent of the damage would be less than what it would be if there were no limits. So that's something we're incorporating in our smart contracts. And bridge is one where we have to be careful. The others are, basically internal DDoS, internal malicious actors. So we're making sure those are kind of buttoned up to make sure that there's either limits or there are fees. So that if you want to DDoS, or if you want to do something malicious, you have to pay a large amount for it. So it's not free. Well, thank you, Double Dutch. Yes, the team is great. The product, well, I'll let you judge. I think the product is great, but we'll try to make it better with your help. And yeah, so question from Crypto Ghost. Which programming language is used for the Zeus blockchain? We do everything in Golang. All our backend is Golang, and the front end is obviously React, and on the website, on the web apps. All right, I think we're now at 10 o'clock, so this is the hour. Thank you very much for joining the AMA. I hope you found this AMA informative about our two apps that we will let you guys play around with it, either early next week or even this week during the weekend. We will have an AMA next week as well, where we talk about potentially another app, depending on how much time we have. But we're going to talk about the pre-mainnet and some of the early testing that we plan to do on it. So stay tuned, and have a good weekend, and thank you for joining again. Take care. Bye-bye.